Good afternoon and welcome to News Hour on TV Sapiencia, and I am Oluchi Ojo Bamidele. The government of Anambra State has set aside about 3.5 billion naira as an empowerment grant for 8,300 youth from Anambra and outside the state under One Youth Two Skills Plus Solution initiative. The state governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, who stated this during the graduation and certification ceremony for the successful youth out of the 183,000 applicants, said that a few billions have equally been set aside for the Anambra Small Business Agency to give loans to interested beneficiaries. Speaking at the event, which was held at the International Convention Center, Oka, Governor Soludo recalled that the program was launched in October 2022, citing that the program is in line with his manifesto promise of raising 1,000 youth millionaires annually, and described the program as stomach infrastructure on a sustainable basis. The Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Patrick Anambra, expressed delight that the program is growing from strength to strength, stating that it is already transforming the lives and destinies of thousands of youth. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to empowering Nigerian women, describing them as protectors of families, drivers of innovation, and catalysts for economic growth. Speaking at the 9th Voice of Women Conference and Awards in Abuja, the president, represented by the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, praised Nigerian women for their resilience and impact. According to her, women's voices remain the heartbeat of our country, undaunted, unyielding, and rising to shape a future of equity and progress under the renewed hope agenda. Suleiman Ibrahim further emphasized that the reserved seat bill is not an act of benevolence, but one of justice and strategic necessity. In her welcome address to Nsonaya, founder and convener of the Voice of Women's Conference and Awards, urged grassroots women to support women in politics through collective action. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has urged the National Assembly to fasten the passage of proposed amendments to the country's electoral legal framework. Yakubu made the appeal on Thursday in Abuja during a meeting with the European Union Election Observation Follow-up Mission to Nigeria, led by Barry Andrews, who also headed the European Union mission during the 2023 general election. Yakubu emphasized that the early passage of the amended electoral law is crucial for INEC's effective planning ahead of the next general election. He noted that INEC has already reviewed all 8 recommendations specifically directed to the Commission in the European Union Election Observation Mission's report on the 2023 general election. The wife of the president, Senator Remi, has flagged off the distribution of 370,000 sanitary pads worth 2.5 billion naira to schoolgirls in rural communities across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The launch held at the State House Alausa Ikeja was carried out under her Renewed Hope Initiative program tagged Flow with Confidence. Senator Tinubu, represented by the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, said the intervention was designed to address menstrual health challenges facing young girls in undeserved areas. She noted that many girls are forced to use unsafe alternatives or skip schools entirely, leading to poor academic performance and in some cases school dropouts. The First Lady assured that she will be distributing a 1-year supply of disposable sanitary pads to 370,000 schoolgirls in rural communities across the nation, adding that all states and the FCT will receive 10,000 packs each through the state First Ladies and Renewed Hope Initiative coordinators. The Nigerian Bar Association NBA has vowed to provide free legal services to Nigerians harassed by the police over the controversial tinted glass permit, which it described as illegal. The NBA, through its section on public interest and development law, said the police has no constitutional basis to impose fees on or annual renewals on motorists, warning that the enforcement of the policy is both unlawful and a revenue-driven scheme. Revealing this in a statement on Thursday, the chairman of the NBA's Public Interest Litigation Committee, Olukunle Edun, said the association shall invoke the powers of the court to ensure that the Nigerian police force does not trample on the rights of Nigerians. He urged any citizen who is harassed by the police in the purported enforcement of the illegal tinted glass permit to feel free to contact any of the NBA branches. Edun stressed that the matter is already in court and accused the police of being lawless by commencing enforcement. The NBA insisted that the police cannot impose what amounts to taxation without legislation. The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, Adekunle Ajasin University, Akumbwa Akoko, has threatened to embark on an indefinite strike over alleged unpaid salaries, arrears, and other unmet demands. The threat comes as the university's chapter of the Academic Staff Union of Universities has been on strike since August for the same reason and is yet to resume. Similarly, SANU had earlier warned that the planned resumption of students and a forthcoming convocation ceremony could be disrupted if outstanding payments are not made. The chairman of the Joint Action Committee of the University, Olutayo Ogunbeni, accused the Ondo State Government of reneging on promises made in June this year to settle arrears and increase subventions to tertiary institutions. According to him, SANU members are being owed over 2 months' salaries, with the last payment received in July. He lamented that staff had exercised patience for too long, stressing they are now poised for a showdown, and further accused the state government of neglecting the university. In reaction to this, the State Commissioner for Education, Professor Iwekele Ijebefu, said the government is addressing the matter. Now to Rivers State, where the State Waste Management Agency has cancelled the mandatory monthly sanitation exercise following a meeting with Governor Siminalayi Fubara at Government House, Port Harcourt. The exercise, which was later to begin on the first Saturday of every month, was earlier announced by the chairman of the board, Dr. Samuel Nwanosike, shortly after assuming office. The move, however, drew widespread criticism from the public. Nwanosike told journalists on Thursday that the governor had directed the adoption of a new strategy for waste management. He subsequently seized the opportunity to inform the people of Rivers State that the initially proposed environmental sanitation exercise that was supposed to hold on the 4th of October is put off until further notice. The chairman, however, said this is to allow the board build more capacity in tackling the issue of refuse management in the state. It's a pleasure to still have you here with us on TV Sapientia News Hour. Still on the news, bandits have abducted a police officer in Kwara State and kidnapped 2 councillors and 2 village heads in Zamfara State in renewed waves of insecurity across the north. In Zamfara, the abducted traditional rulers are the district head of Gidangoga, Alhaji Sulesili, and the village head of Taheta, Alhaji Abubakar. The councillors were identified as Surajo Dangaladima, representing Gidangoga Ward, and Rabiu Bashiri, representing Subiri Ward in the Maradun local government area. Residents said the traditional rulers were abducted from their homes, while the councillors were seized in Gusau, the state capital, on Wednesday night. The Zamfara State Police Command spokesperson DSP Yazid Abubakar, who confirmed the abductions, said additional personnel have been deployed to track the criminals and rescue the victims. In a separate incident in Kwara State, bandits abducted a police officer, Ezra John, attached to the Lade division in Patigi local government area. Confirming the abduction, the spokesperson for the Kwara State Police Command said SP Adeton and said tactical teams have been deployed to rescue the officer. Ghana's annual consumer inflation rate slowed down for the 9th consecutive month in September, falling to 9.4% year-on-year from 11.5% in August, marking its lowest level since August 2021, the Statistics Service said. Government statistician Al-Hassan Idrisu told a press conference that the decline was driven primarily by easing food prices compared to non-food prices. According to him, it shows a sustained shift in prices that signals Ghana is firmly on the path to macroeconomic stability. Ghana Central Bank also slashed its key interest rates by a record of 350 basis points to 21.5% in September, citing a sustained decline in inflation and an improving macroeconomic outlook. The bank expects inflation to reach its medium-term target of 6% to 10% in the fourth quarter of 2025. The Czech Republic has implemented an entry ban for Russians with diplomatic or service passports from entering the country. Czech Foreign Minister Jan Lipavsky announced after a cabinet meeting in Prague that the number of sabotage operations is increasing and that the government will not risk agents operating under diplomatic cover. According to the ministry, a few of the diplomats who are officially accredited in the country are exempted. The Czech Republic has been pushing for European Union's measures to deprive Russian diplomats for their freedom of movement in the Schengen area. Immediately after the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion to Ukraine, the Czech Republic moved to almost completely suspending the issuance of new visas and resident permits to Russian nationals who do not hold a diplomatic passport. Away from that to sports, where the Nigerian School Sports Federation in collaboration with NBA Africa have organized capacity building training for teachers to enhance grassroots basketball development. The training, which was tagged Junior NBA Coaches Academy, was held at the indoor hall of the National Stadium, Surulere, Lagos State, to equip teachers with modern basketball instructional skills. The trained teachers are expected to integrate basketball into physical education classes, organize school assemblies, and create engaging environments that encourage sustained sports learning and participation. The Sports Federation President Olabisi Joseph described the initiative as a milestone in basketball promotion at the grassroots and a foundation for building future basketball talent in Nigeria. She commended NBA Africa for its collaboration and support, emphasizing that the initiative would nurture young athletes and instill a lifelong passion for basketball in pupils. Crystal Palace has launched their first full venture into European football with a 2-0 win over Dynamo Kyiv in Poland on Thursday in the UEFA Conference League. Colombian wingback Daniel Munoz's brilliant header in the first half put Palace ahead in Lublin, where Dynamo are playing their home games in Europe this season because of the war in Ukraine. Palace qualified for Europe after beating Manchester City in the FA Cup final last season, but were demoted from the Europa League to the Conference League after breaching UEFA rules on multi-club ownership. The Premier League club's only previous experience of continental competition was one home and away tie in the Intertoto Cup back in 1998. Palace are among the favourites for the Conference League title and are due to host Larnaca of Cyprus in the next game in the league phase on October 23, 2025. And to wrap it up on the news, here are the major news headlines for today. The Nigerian Bar Association NBA has vowed to provide free legal services to Nigerians harassed by the police over the controversial tinted glass permit, which it described as illegal. The Czech Republic has implemented an entry ban for Russians with diplomatic or service passports from entering the country. And Crystal Palace has launched their first full venture into European football with a 2-0 win over Dynamo Kyiv in Poland on Thursday in the UEFA Conference League. And that was the TV Sapientia News. On behalf of the technical and the editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojo Bamidele. Thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.